dramatic moment in court today after listening to hours of jailhouse videos. An actual piece of physical evidence was unveiled before the jury, a big box, and then a big piece of a tire cover from Casey Anthony's trunk of her car. This is the cover where you see the little square was cut out. That's the square that was put in the jar, and later the prosecution will say they found some evidence of decomposition from the piece of that tire cover. Now, Tony, this thing's been in a cardboard box for 3 years. We didn't expect it to smell, but you were still sniffing today.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wasn't hyperventilating, but I was really trying to smell, leaning across the bar, and I couldn't smell any unusual odors. I was maybe 35 feet away from it. Some of the jurors less than 10 feet away, but it's not like they pass it down or anything for jurors to inspect. But I couldn't smell anything unusual.
All right, well, we're going to hear later about how they actually detected decomposition. But today, at least, we have the introduction of the word. Let's bring in Mark Bijam and Mark O'Mara, our legal analyst. The word was first talked about when we had Gerardo Bloise on the stand. He talked about composition, but then Jose Baez came up in cross-examination and grilled him on it. Listen.
I use that terminology in a simple way, decomposition. That was my intention when I put that in my report.
Correct. And when I asked you that that's because there are different types of decomposition, you answered that's correct.
Correct.
And that's why you did not specify human decomposition, correct?
It's possible, correct.
So on direct examination, he said decomposition. On cross-examination, he said, I don't know if it's human, it could be animal, it could be meat. Then on redirect, Linda Drain-Burdick got him to say that in his professional opinion, he believes it's human decomposition.
All right, so you guys say that that was not a very good idea for him to bring up what type of decomposition, because the verdict could then come in and say, was it human based on your experience of 40 different bodies, and he could say yes.
It's called opening the door. And basically, I think that he was conservative as an approach with the original report. And he said decomposition, he didn't say human decomposition. And then the state took a conservative approach also, not to come up with something that might be objectionable. But then, with cross-examination, the door was opened and he started talking about various kinds of decomposition, of human decomposition, which suggests that the door is open, and it was a big entranceway for the prosecution to come in, and they did. And he established for them, he being the defense, established for the prosecution that this was human decomposition, who sadly could be nobody other than Kaylee.
But Baez was trying to highlight for jurors that there was this question about whether it was human decomposition. Unfortunately for him, I guess the question got answered.
He did answer it a little bit too much. I think what he was trying to do was to hone in, but he should have realized what was going on. We know he had a pre-trial deposition of him, so he probably should have known. And what he did was, instead of leaving it be well enough alone and arguing in closing, like Mark said, he let it come out, and now Linda Drain-Burdick could come in with what she probably could not have gotten in under her direct, easily got in under redirect, and now the jury knows it was human decomposition. The fourth time.
In cross-examination, you know when to stop. You ask that one question too many, it'll get you every time.
All right, we do believe that this CSI investigator, though, was another slam dunk for the prosecution. Let's take a look. He was our key witness of the day. The grades that our analysts have given him for Gerardo Bloise, an A for importance and A for credibility. Any question about that?
No question at all.
Now, the jury may not realize how important he is, but he is the first link in the chain of evidence that's going to lead to that jury hearing that not only were there signs of decomposition on that trunk liner, but also chloroform. So he's extremely important in the chain that they have to lay this foundation for, and they did it today.
And we know collection is everything. If there would have been a mistake in something that he might have done at the beginning, it could taint that entire chain you're talking about.
Sure.
All right, we also got some information from the prosecution today about when they believe they're going to wrap up their side of their witnesses.
The prosecution said they believe they will be done with their case in chief on June 17th, 2 weeks from today. That would be day 21 of this trial.
All right. And the defense should be shorter, right?
We've been saying that. We thought it would be. And I don't see that the cross-examination of some of the medical experts or the scientific experts is going to take as long as they're conceding accidental death.
And then the state can come back and rebuttal after the defense, too, so who knows how long it's going to take.
All right.